Hi, my name's Jeffrey, and I'm an American. And I want to invite you to take a tour with me, an excursion through New York City.
There's no other city in the world where so many different ethnic groups and races live together, making New York City the great melting pot. A large portion of the population consists of Jews. More Jews live here than in Jerusalem. There are more Irish in New York than in Dublin, more Germans than in Nuremberg, more Poles than in Danzig, and more Italians than in Rome.
So we're waiting for my friend Sherry. She's coming into Penn Station on Amtrak, and so we're going to pick her up, and she's going to give us a guided tour of New York.
We've arrived at the Magnolia Bakery. This is the most delicious cupcakes in all of Manhattan and possibly in the entire world. And this year is Magnolia's 15th anniversary. So it's a very exciting time to be here. And I have an example here of a coconut cupcake and a pink vanilla cupcake. And I have to go now because I need to go eat these.
Is that simply the best cupcake in the whole wide world?
Exquisite.
Exquisite. So this is it, the New York Stock Exchange, the pinnacle, the epicenter of American capitalism. The movers and the shakers all do it here. Here's where all the stock prices are decided. On any given day, anything can happen. The free market. This is how American capitalism decides what's going on. Who gets money, who doesn't. Which company has a bright future, and which company maybe is dying an old, slow death. Here we are at the infamous Ground Zero, site of the 9/11 terrorist attacks on the United States. It's a very important place, of course, in America, and a lot of Americans now make a trip to New York just to come to this place because they feel it was an attack on our nation and on every American. So I'm standing here on the Brooklyn Bridge, another very popular tourist attraction here in New York City, connecting Manhattan with Brooklyn. Some interesting facts about the Brooklyn Bridge, which was completed in 1883, is that it was 80% stone and 20% steel. When they built the Manhattan Bridge, which was done in 1909, they were already able to do it with 80% steel and only 20% stone. So it was interesting how you can see that the steel had become the building material of the day. One of the things that's so fascinating about New York City is it's a real melting pot. You know, every culture from the whole world's here. And it's kind of a representation of all the different immigrants that came to America from New York. Many who stayed and settled here, made their lives and their businesses. Right now, we're in Little Italy, which is just across the road from Chinatown. One of the things that's interesting is that Chinatown is currently expanding, whereas Little Italy is shrinking. Chinatown is moving in. It sort of represents what's going on in the global economy. China expanding, and older countries like Italy contracting a little bit. So what happens in New York is quite indicative of what's going on in the rest of the world.
Times Square, 7 o'clock in the morning. The morning shows from the New Yorker radio and television stations like ABC, CBS, Fox, NBC, and CNN are reporting live from New York. Depending on what you believe and what you want to hear, you can choose your station to match your political orientation.
The thing that's interesting about New York is America starts its day here and it ends its day here. I don't have percentages, but I can tell you it's absolutely huge in terms of how many television sets in the morning go on and are tuned to some kind of a broadcast coming from New York City, whether it's the Today Show, Good Morning America, Regis and Kelly. That's just to name a few. And then in the evening, you know, we close out our day with the New York comedians like David Letterman or Conan O'Brien. Everything's coming out of New York. It's fascinating just, you know, how ingrained this city is in American culture. Everybody looks to New York as the model. It's teaching the rest of the country how to act, how to look, how to think, where to invest.